Hey, what's up guys? It's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we have something very extraordinary. Now, you might be saying, well, Spider, well, you know, we've seen a lot of Des Moines gameplay. We want to see some, like, Worcester gameplay, or Seattle gameplay, or maybe even some of the lower tiers, like maybe Pensacola, New Orleans, that sort of thing. And why are you guys showing so much Des Moines gameplay? Well, this is a special match for me, and I think you guys will start to see why, if you couldn't already notice by the title. But yeah, so this is gonna be my first 4K that I can recall base XP game, and it is going to be a killer one. So I am in the Des Moines. I'm playing with 3FM in the Hakuryu and then the real tugboat in the Montana. Now, just to let you guys know, this is my Clan Wars build. I think I've already said this. So it's not optimized for things like random battles, but that's okay. So we're going to be running with main armaments mod 1, then radar module, then what's next? AA range, not AA range, this is Clan Wars, so it's going to be accuracy. Usually I'll probably take the AA range, but it's not that big of a deal. Then I have propulsion, then concealment, and then finally rate of fire. Now, pretty much 2 or 3 games after this match, I ended up getting the legendary mod, and I'll try and be getting a game from that up soon, so that you guys can kind of compare and contrast the legendary mod with the reload or range, to kind of see which one better suits your playstyle. But my short opinion on it is I haven't had enough testing yet with the legendary mod. It's pretty fun, but since I do run reload, it does kind of, I do kind of miss my 4.8 second reload or whatever it is. It's around there, and then of course with AR, whatever it kicks in. But anyway, and then for my captain perks, I have party target, adrenaline rush, superintendent concealment. Obviously this is Clan Wars, so RPF I would probably choose AFT. Oh, it does look like I have AA range, excuse me, but RPF, then I believe basic survivability, and then expert marksman to top it all off. So I see this Moskva's bowing in. I mean, he's the closest one on RPF. There could be a battleship out in H1-2, or maybe even a hidden cruiser or something, but I'm just going to take the risk, have AP loaded, and, well, I have 3 kilometers. This should be fun. I don't think this Moskva realizes, but first salvo, 4K, 20,000. Second salvo, and he's dead. Devastating strike. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I see planes are coming in. I pop my defensive fire immediately. Try and angle those torpedoes as much as I can. I'm going to eat one. I can't over-angle because of this Des Moines. So, but I'm constantly getting citadels. I do get a bit lucky there. I don't get any engine brakes or even like fires or floodings or anything like that. So I'm just going to bow into this Des Moines. He might be trying for my citadel. He might be trying for my guns. I don't know, but I'm just going to HE spam him and just seeing that that's a little bit quicker. And as soon as he starts to show a little bit too much broadside, I punish him. So within 4.5, just under 4 minutes of the game starting, I'm already at 80k and 2 ships, killed him 13 citadels. Well, isn't that a doozy? So here I'm going to be basically just farming now. I want to try and get the cap, but I do think I get spotted here soon. And honestly, this Montana is just so tempting. If you look at this Montana, it's like, oh, it's so broadside, 11 kilometers. Oh, I could reckon with AP, but I think I have to wait for a second. I want to try and get the cap, but he's not aiming at me, so I'm going to do it anyway. So here, just trying to get the first fire, and then had he not turned out, probably would have switched to AP sooner. Maybe a bit too late here, but that's okay. I'm sure we can still do some work with AP, with the good normalization angles and whatnot. And then a Neptune gets spotted. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, frothing at the mouth, frothing at the mouth. I guess, I don't know if he was angling towards me on purpose or maybe the guys at sea, but he is just able to bounce most of my AP shells. So I'm gonna not bother him for a little bit. Now, of course, he can still, since the Neptune and a lot of those British cruisers, they've got a boxy rear, and a little bit like the Des Moines. You can kind of citadel them if they're like butt onto you. But either way, it's okay. That Neptune goes down. So at this point, it's a bit rough because I don't want to go into basically their whole fleet in a Des Moines and go bow in, because, well, it's just not a good idea, especially with so many battleships, especially with things like Montana and Yamato. North Carolina I'm still worried about, but not nearly as much as those two ships. Just because they've got so many more guns, they've got much better DPM, and also they've got much better accuracy. Granted, if they've got a good shot. Either way, though, we're still going to be pushing because I need some more damage, and the game's not even close to being over yet. We haven't even passed the 10-minute mark, and well, we're already at 120k. So oddly enough, we spot the midway, and you see I recognize him there, but I kind of want more kills. I kind of want to get this Montana burning again, and I don't really want to expose my broadside. I don't want to go and change my guns to the other side, so I'm going to angle up a little bit, or angle out, so I expose a little bit more of my broadside, and then once I start to see that I'm receiving a little too much fire, I might try and go dark. Here, I'm still confident in my HP, I'm still confident in my maneuverability, but until I really get smacked, and until I see that indicator go up to maybe 2 or 3, or probably 3, then I should probably start thinking about either going dark or repositioning. So I decided that, well, since this Amagi's shooting me, this Hindenburg's kind of shooting at me, I'm just going to switch my guns anyway and work on the midway. Some might say I probably should have done this a little bit earlier, but I'm also looking at it from a base XP standpoint and just stats standpoint. If the carrier is still up, and you know, granted, he is a carrier player, even some of the not as skilled carrier players can still do a lot of work. I do want some more plane kills, and if this guy's going to feed me more plane kills, I'm more than happy to take them. So oddly enough, Des Moines bow in at 14, 15 kilometers. This is actually not too bad. But I don't like being shot at in a cruiser. That's not the point of a cruiser. The point of a cruiser is to not get shot at and just pretty much use as much of your DPM and maneuverability as possible, just not to get hit, and also to just raw output damage. Cruisers are more of constant nuisances for the enemy team. Battleships are mainly the one-hit wonder, the home run, and as maybe we'll see here with the tugboat. Oh, just barely shoots a little high, and I think a little left as well. And then your destroyers they're an interesting little breed between the high DPM and then also the well, I wouldn't say high DPM, but they've got characteristics of both, where they can full delete some people and then also be able to put out some more constant DPM. Either way, that's not the story of this replay. So I recognize that my radar just went down. I'm probably not going to get another shot off, and well, fortunately for me, I ended up killing him. Here I want to get a fire first, then immediately switch to AP, and I saw that this Amagi wasn't looking at me at first, and then he switches to me, and then I'm like, ugh, rip. And then, well, it could have been worse, but 17k is not the worst thing I've ever heard. Now I want to angle to my most likely target to switch to me, or hurt me the most. And since I've already got a fire on the Amagi, this is just pure damage farming tactics. Get a fire on one guy, switch to another. That helps to increase your damage throughout the game quite heavily. Now we do have to be careful though, because our pretty much half our team went to D and half of them are dead, and that means that we're in a 4v5 situation. And boy, do I wish I had killed that midway right about now. So I'm just going to be HE spamming this Yamato for now, and I'm just going to be kiting out because we really need this. Well, we need some kills, and we also need ships alive on our team. So, see, the Yamato's not really going to bother me too much, and really the only thing stopping me from going dark is this Amagi, so I'm going to start focusing him. Get another fire, which is good. I honestly probably could switch. Angle's a little too steep here for AP. That's okay. HE is still very viable. My HE does pen quite a lot of that Amagi. And we're going to get the kill here. Yes, we do. Getting that Amagi killed is letting us go dark. And the other thing is that since we run reload and instead of range, those guys at D actually aren't detecting us. The only thing that's spotting us now is the planes, and well, I'm turning back into hopefully cover tugboat, and I pop my defensive fire. Don't know if it will matter, and actually 3FM comes in with, it looks like a strafe, and I also shoot down 4 of those planes, so tugboat doesn't have to worry about that, but he's still getting rained down by HE and AP, which is good. So now it's up to me, Rune, and then 3FM. Now, I don't know how many planes 3FM had at this point, but seeing that he's got three full squadrons of torpedo bombers and then also 2 full squadrons of dive bombers, I'm assuming he still has quite a bit. Now here, I'm just farming the Yamato, using island cover. In the earlier game, I pretty much was not using islands at all with reload, which again is something very interesting. Typically you don't see, and I try to get as much the Moines gameplay in the open with reload mod as possible. I know it takes a very good player to achieve good damage numbers in reload Des Moines. However, I think that with enough practice, anyone can do it. So I didn't really want to get shot by the Yamato, so I tried to back up, and honestly, it's killing my my DPM there, only using my basically over a turret and 3 guns. So I'm 227. I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh man, I could be so close to 300k, but that midway's probably ran away. And I really want to farm this Hindenburg for a nice good game. And I don't know. I saw 3FM drop his dive bombers, and it looked like either the fires ran out or he DCP'd the fires. So I'm just going to continue to use HE until he gets real close or really opens up his broadside. But here I'm confident. It is a 3v3. They still have a battleship. That's okay. 3FM's a good carrier player. I trust him to take out a battleship, especially against a carrier that seems to be pretty deplaned at the moment. But since I get a fire, I'm going to be switching AP as soon as he starts to open up the broadside. However, it's probably not needed. And here I switch AP again, probably not needed. And now, with that Hindenburg dead, I get a Kraken Unleashed, and now 3FM can go strike that North Carolina with no problem. Because North Carolina AA against a Tier 10 carrier, it's just not going to happen. Especially a little bit later game when, well, I guess some of the AA is broken, but to be honest, it doesn't really look like it all that much. Now, again, here, if I had 7.2 kilometer AA instead of RPF, well, RPF helped me a little bit in the early game, but I think I could have maximized a lot more base XP from right now. And 3FM takes out that carrier, or that North Carolina. Now, let's say if 3FM hadn't done that, could I have gotten 300k? Yeah, but that's okay, because he still needs the damage too. He still needs to have good stats or whatever. But unfortunately, this midway completely ran away. Wish he kind of did the ballsier thing and went through D. But that is actually going to end the replay here, so let's check out the post-battle results. Alright guys, so looking at the post-battle results, we ended up getting 1 million credits, 12k XP, Confederate Devastating Spray, Kraken Unleashed, and High Caliber, 264,000 damage, which I believe is my highest recorded Des Moines game, which is pretty awesome. 38 plane kills, could have been more if I had AFT, but that's okay, I don't really care all that much. 5 kills, like I said, 13 citadels, I think 9 of which came on the Moscow in that early game, and then 2 or 3 more from that Des Moines. 2 defend ribbons, a solo base capture, which was pretty good. And as you guys saw there, we had some nice open water and some nice island hopping to kind of mix it up. I know it was in division, but nonetheless, I still did what you guys asked and try and use more open water Des Moines gameplay. So the base XP, 4,098, just 2 XP short of 4,100. But that's okay. That's what you get when you've got the Des Moines and you have stellar games like this. 3FM carrier XP just completely botched him. I think he still did quite good. I don't really recall the damage numbers, but I want to say it was in the 160s. I'm sure he can correct me if he watches this video. And then Tugboat, 4th on our team, not too bad. Good performance from him. But hey, at the end of the day, we won, and it was a nice game for me. Detailed report: 100k AP, 118 HE, 3/4 of the way to a Witherer. So almost had that, but whatever. I don't care. Potential damage 1.7. Again, it's whatever. I tried to tank, quote unquote, as much as possible. I wouldn't recommend doing that in cruisers, but nonetheless, we still did it. And credits and XP wise, 800 grand at tier 10 is not bad. Take that any day. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. I actually really hope you enjoyed this replay, because I was so excited when I saw the post-battle results, and as well as playing throughout the game. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later.